Hey guys, I'm here today. I wanted to check out a video from friend of the channel, UltraSargent. You've probably seen some of their videos before. They've done plenty of little tributes and like super edits of different little things, mostly comic book related. One of their big ones that blew up that we reacted to here on the channel was their kind of proof of concept of how crazy like a high budget like Crisis on Infinite Earths could be. And I joked with them about this before. I feel like maybe that skewed some expectations a little bit when the CW actually did it. But today we want to check out, since the Arrowverse has officially come to a close as The Flash has wrapped up its final season, which we've reacted to on the channel. You can check those out over here if you'd like. But he put together this little tribute as a send-off to the universe itself, and I wanted to check it out here since we here have been major supporters of it from the very beginning. So let's go ahead and check it out. I also told him if this makes me cry, I will fight him. Epic logo intro.
All my life I've wanted to just do more. What if I'm not a hero? What if I'm just some guy who was struck by lightning?
Baby Grant.
I don't think that bolt of lightning struck you, Barry. I think it chose you. I'm just not sure I'm like you, Oliver. I don't know if I can be some vigilante. You can be better. Because you can inspire people.
Wow, man.
I never could. I started this mission alone. I was certain that I would end it alone. Every bit of success that I've had along the way is because of all of you. Watching over your city like a guardian angel. Making a difference. Saving people. In a flash. Not every hero wears a mask. Some heroes save the day in the simplest of ways. By just being there for us.
There is great power in being the calm at the center of the storm. A beacon to show the way. Supergirl is here to remind us on Earth about what's best in ourselves.
Partners? Partners.
My name is Oliver Queen.
My name is Barry Allen.
My name is zor-el.
My name is Sarah Lance.
I had to become something else. I am the fastest man alive.
Earth doesn't have just one hero anymore.
Don't call us heroes. We're legends.
I spent years searching for a place I fit. And I think I finally found it.
My father had a saying, one that I even teach my students today. Where's the future?
God.
Whose life is this? Mine. And what are you gonna do with it?
Even in the darkest times,
Failure's not an option.
hope cuts through.
Losing is not an option.
Hope is the light that lifts us out of darkness. That bolt of lightning chose you. Never forget it.
Thank you indeed, man. My God, that was a killer goddamn edit, dude. Oh, I thought I was doing all right too for a long haul of it. I don't know if you could see like the glistening. You bastard. I knew it would happen, man. I thought I was holding on though, because it was very hopeful. It was very happy. It was very inspiring, uplifting, and all that. And it was just like the home stretch, the last like maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds is like where it started to well up, man. I love this universe. And this was a great highlight of all the best moments of it, and just the supportive interconnectivity of all these different pillars of it. I like that you gave everybody their little moment to shine in this too. Oh my God. And Jefferson's catchphrase, I don't know if you can call it a catchphrase, motto, like, was just a great way to capstone that. I think that's like the thing that really started to break the support for me as I was getting through it, man. But man, it just made me, especially when we cut back to the loop around for episode 9-9 with the Spectre talk, with Oliver talking back about that first conversation that they had on the rooftop in episode 1 of The Flash, with the lightning bolt choosing him, and the running, and oh my Lord, dude. I love this universe. Listen, it's not the most perfect of things. There was so many things working against it, and I've talked about this a lot. For what was achieved on a network that you do not need a cable subscription to view, you can watch it for free online. All you need is a TV and an antenna, and in most places in the US, you just get the CW for free, and you could watch this shit. Like, for a network that really has so few resources, for them to pull together something like this in a way that really honors the source material in a way, and now adapts, takes its liberties, because again, it didn't really have a parent company that was working with it. They had walls put up, barriers put up, restrictions put up, things taken away, characters they had access to, then they lost access to, all because of changes in plans elsewhere. You know, there was a lot of like red tape that they had to work around to make so much of this work. And for them to have done even half, even a quarter of what they accomplished with these low budget superhero shows, they've done, in my opinion, so much more than the live action big screen universe ever did. And for a long time, I dare even say they were the only thing propping up DC for a long, long time. The only thing that really had them even in the running against Marvel for a long time. They had the TV sphere before Marvel came in, and I still think that even here, they are handling it overall much better. They built out a successful, interconnected universe before the films could, and they made it organic. They made it work. You know, they've got their own tweaks and versions of every character, but that's the beauty of the multiverse. There's not every version of a character is going to be the same copy and paste iteration that we've seen, and they played with it in such a fun way. They had such a fun time with this, and they told really great stories. And sure, you know, they weren't perfect the whole way through. Like any long-running television series, that they had their pitfalls, they had their lows, but I think the positives and the highs of the Arrowverse greatly outweigh any of the negatives. It was just a damn good time to just tune in, especially when you'd hit a week where it was one show one day, and then another, and then another, and then another. You got 4 days of these shows. Sometimes we'll build into an event where they all hang out and play together. And they have these yearly annual events where we get these event weeks where they cross over and play. And even sometimes it's just in a one-off episode. You have somebody from another show pop up and say, hey, and even at the bare minimum, just a mention, be like, hey, I just got off the phone with so-and-so or whatever. It was so alive, man. It was so good. I really do think that, though, it was just, there was a lot of things, you know, behind the scenes in the parent company. Then you have, obviously, real world things that affected everything that Crisis was going to be doing. You had issues behind the scenes. It's like Crisis on Infinite Earths was like the pinnacle of all of it. The climax that it was building towards from season 1 of The Flash. And again, even that was rocky, but it still at its core was a celebration of not just these shows, but the greater DC brand. I mean, that showed way more respect and love than the Flash film did to what has come before. by bringing in things like Brandon Routh's Superman, which in this universe was an extension of the Christopher Reeve Superman, as it was in Superman Returns, as he reprised that role. They brought in Burt Ward. They brought in Kevin Conroy to actually play an on-screen live-action Bruce Wayne. They brought in the cast of the Birds of Prey show. We spent some time back with Tom Welling in the Smallville universe. They brought in Lucifer. They brought back Constantine, Jonah Hex. They brought in Michael Keaton's Batman universe. They referenced the other shows that were going on simultaneously over on the DC Universe app, like Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol, Titans, the Green Lantern 2012 movie. All these things existed here, and even if it came down to just a Flash, they were part of the narrative, they were part of the story, and they were revered. And then, of course, the big surprise when Ezra Miller showed up face to face across from Grant Gustin. And again, a lot of people, I don't think, necessarily know this, but at the time, this wasn't part of the CW's plan. This wasn't part of the original production. They had locked everything down that they had already shot. They'd got all the cameos they had wanted for the story that they were telling. They were ready to go. They were locked in. And it was the parent company, Warner Brothers, who came down and requested to have Ezra Miller included into this. They didn't even think they could get him. They didn't even try to reach out to get anybody from the DCEU. And here they come, be like, hey, let's bring this in. Because I do think that this was originally meant to be part of what the original draft of The Flash was going to be, though I don't know to what extent or whatever. But it was back when Cyborg was still part of it. That was this mind-blowing moment. And for a while, it was DCEU canon, as admitted by the uppers, that Ezra Miller's Flash got the name The Flash from CW's Flash. It was just this fun little playful thing, and like, it was great. Dude, it was mind-blowing. I still have my reaction up on the channel for that too. It's one of the few, those are like right when I started doing reactions, so the quality is not the best if you're used to my current videos. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on the DCEU. They've had their fair share of hits and misses. And I'll enjoy a vast majority of the films that they have put out. It's just that people seem to underestimate the effect that these shows have had. I think that was very telling for the parent company to use this event to boost and bolster what they were trying to do at the time before yet another shakeup happened. And then it's just like the films just were never outside of some kind of shakeup or controversy or change of hands. You know, there's like 3 or 4 different change of ownerships that went on throughout the entire run of it. So many course corrections, shifts, divides, and breaks throughout the whole thing. It's made it very difficult. So James Gunn's got some work on his hands once he gets into the shakeup of things, and is obviously, for a lot of reasons, a lot of people are very apprehensive about it, because so far DC, like as far as like a larger brand for like the big screen, has just been so overall unreliable, and I'm hoping for a better future with that. I think they did the best they could. They set up a huge promise and a hope for something crazy to follow, but the world just saw fit to disrupt a lot of those plans, and it was just never quite the same again. And I still loved checking in with everybody, even when certain seasons or shows got abruptly shut down. You know, we still had a couple of vestiges still hanging out in the interim, and you know, we hung out until Flash was the last one standing. And now you kind of have a spiritual successor, very loosely, in Superman and Lois, which is just phenomenal. And even though the Flash's final season wasn't perfect, it was still a lot of fun. And I'll remember the great moments, the highlights, far long and before I remember any of the things that maybe I didn't like all too much. You know, it's just one of those things where I definitely feel like there's just so much value here than there was that took away from anything else. Because I know, like, public perception over the years kind of started to turn against it. And even the parent company was like, we got to get rid of things that devalue the brand. When, like I said, for the longest time, this was the only real thing that DC had going for it that wasn't animated, that was success. That was drawing in views. That was keeping people attentive. This is a universe that brought people into the DC universe that probably never had been involved before. This is what got them into it. And I just think that needs to be respected and at least acknowledged for years to come. And that's one of the things that really kind of irked me about the Flash movie is that even though Ezra met Grant Gustin in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event, that they chose, admittedly by the director, chose to omit Grant Gustin from it, was just a shame, a missed opportunity. But honestly, at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad that Grant was left after that train wreck, or left out of that train wreck, rather. But hopefully, there are greener pastures around the corner. You know, a lot of these great actors have put in the work. They've given us their blood, sweat, their tears, their long, long hours, their long, long days to give us some great, fun, escapist content to make us emotional, to make us laugh, to make us smile, to make us just jump at the edge of our seats, man. And, you know, they've earned their rest. But love it. Thank you, Ultra. Great job. Check out some more of his edits because he's got all kinds of stuff on his channel. And I'll link it in the description, the link to the video itself. But this was a beautiful, beautiful tribute. And yeah, man, I still haven't really truly accepted that it's the end, man. In just like a week or two, I will be able to go to a con where both Grant and Steven will be there. And I've already got my ticket for a photo op with the gang. So I'm excited for that. But guys, share it down below your favorite moments, favorite characters, favorite show from the Arrowverse. And yeah, let's celebrate what we had while we had it and the memories that we will hold forever. But guys, I'd love to know what you thought. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends, Manny Sher, Ryan Karen, Yuri Coruscant, Margaret Grace, Melito, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey Hale, M. Sephiroth, Jake Cantrell, and Eric Official. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys. And before we go, Arrowverse, you did not fail this fandom. Take care, everybody.